All right, gentlemen, on today's agenda, motorcycle licensing. What are we going to do about it? Give me some ideas. Yeah, throw them at me. Come on. Okay, I got one. What if we just made it really nice and easy and gave them all the information they need on the website? You just don't get this, do you? Get out. What? Right, yeah. Go. Right now. Go on, go. Don't even know why we hired that guy. Bloody ridiculous. All right, what are we gonna do? Oh, got it. Get this, right? What if we make it really hard and complicated, go on, and then we don't tell them how to do it? Yes, I like it. They won't know what to do, right? I know, it just came there. Hey there, I'm Kwackajack, and thanks for joining me for another video. If you're watching this video, you probably love motorcycles just as much as I do. The idea of getting on one is addictive and intoxicating, and once you've got the urge, it's hard to get rid of it. However, back in early 2019, I remember before I even had my bike or my license, trying to work out just how to go about it. What do I need to do to get my bike license? How long is it going to take me? And do I need to get up a certain amount of hours like I did with my car? I remember researching and just finding it so confusing. Even the Queensland government website just did not give me a straight answer. And it kind of felt like they almost didn't want to tell me how to do it. I didn't have anyone around me who rode or knew how to answer these questions either, because the only people I knew who had their licenses got them ages ago, when all it took was hop on a bike, ride up and down the street, and here you go. And let me tell you, times have changed. Well, eventually I figured it out, and now in 2022, I happily have my full open license. So today's video is for the people that were in my shoes around 2 or 3 years ago and are trying to work out how to get their license here in Australia. I'll explain the different kinds of licenses and tell you the process that you need to take to get you on your first motorcycle. I'll also give you an idea of how long it's going to take and touch on the differences there are between the different states. Alright, first up, let's talk about how long the process takes. Most states are pretty similar, but there are some variances between. To get your full open motorcycle license here in Australia, it's probably going to take you around 2 to 3 years, depending on which state you're in. Some will be a little bit shorter and some will be a bit longer, but no matter where you are, it isn't a quick process. Now, I know that sounds intimidating, but don't worry, it's not actually going to take you that long to get on the road and start riding solo. To do that, it's actually only going to take you around 3 months at a minimum. Similar to a car license, there are different stages to getting your motorcycle license. The 3 licenses for motorcycles include the learner, the restricted, or the REs, and the full unrestricted, or Rs. So let's have a brief explanation of what they are. The learner license comes first, and just like in a car, you'll have to display L plates either on the bike or on yourself while riding. You'll also have to be accompanied by a fully licensed motorcyclist that's had their opens for at least a year. Now, when I say accompanied, I don't mean actually on the bike with you as a passenger, I mean on another bike with you riding or following you in a car. You'll also be limited to LAMS bikes, or learner approved motorcycle scheme. These are usually lower cc, lower powered bikes like my Ninja, and they're capped at around 45 to 50 horsepower. And it should be stated whenever you're buying one. You will also have to have a blood alcohol level of 0, and you will not be able to take any passengers. You have to be on this license for a minimum of 3 months, and there's no logbooks to fill in or hours to fill up as well, so don't worry about that. On your REs, or restricted motorcycle license, you will still have to be on a learner approved motorcycle, but you will not have to display any plates, unless you're still on your Ps on your car license, in which case you'll still have to display them the same way that you do on your car. So if you're on your red Ps on your car license, you'll have to display the red Ps, and if you're on your green Ps on your car license, you'll have to display the green ones. If you have your full open car license, you will not have to. Same as on your Ls, you'll have to have a blood alcohol level of 0, and you won't be able to take any pillions on your bike for the first year. This license usually lasts for around 2 years before you can upgrade, but it can vary between states. Quick side note, if you're in New South Wales, they have the P1 and P2 licenses, which are basically the same as the RE, or restricted, but it will depend on whether or not you're over or under 25 as to how long they last. I'll explain that in a minute. Once you reach your R or unrestricted license, you will be fully qualified and be able to ride any motorcycle. The blood alcohol limit is the same as in a car at 0.05, but as a quick side note from me, if you're planning to ride your motorcycle, I wouldn't be drinking beforehand at all. It's just not worth it. Also, on this license, you are free to take passengers. Onto requirements and eligibility. Now, the general rule of thumb here in Australia is that if you've been on the road in a car for at least 12 months, you should be eligible to go for your motorcycle license. Some states don't actually require it, but I recommend it no matter what, so at least you know how the road works. Now, when I say being on the road for 12 months, that can mean your provisional license. In terms of minimum age, it does vary between states, but again, if you've been on the road for over a year, you should be fine. However, in Victoria, you will have to be over 18. Some states, such as New South Wales and Victoria, may also make you take an eyesight and hazard perception test beforehand too. This is just so you can be seen as medically fit before hopping on the bike. Okay, so now that we know that you're eligible to get your motorcycle license, what's the process? Well, the first thing to do is to book yourself in for the pre-learners course. This is usually a 2-day course and will give you all of the basic skills and knowledge of how to pick up and ride a motorcycle for the first time. I've spoken to a lot of people that have been really nervous about taking this first step because they see it as 2 full days and intimidating. But in reality, this course is for people who have never been on or even around a motorcycle before, and the instructors are very kind and forgiving. You'll spend half of this time in a classroom-like setting doing theory and the other half out getting to know the different parts of a motorcycle and learning to ride. You'll learn how to take off, brake, and use the gears and other basic maneuvers. Once you complete your 2-day pre-learner course, you will be eligible to get your learners. Congrats! Head on down to your transport and main roads to apply and get it. Okay, so now that you got your L's, you can hop on a bike and go out on the road with a fully licensed instructor and start practicing. Again, you must be displaying your L plates and accompanied by a person who's had their open license for at least a year. Like I said before, there's no logbook you have to fill out or minimum hours that you have to complete before upgrading. While the minimum amount of time is 3 months, I'd recommend taking your time here and really getting comfortable on the road before going on to the next stage. After those 3 months on your learners, you'll be able to book in and go for your riding test in your state. Here in Queensland, it's called the Q-Ride Restricted course. This will usually consist of a knowledge test and then a practice run around the car park where you do basic maneuvers like the brake test, figure 8 and slow riding before heading out for a group ride with your instructor. This was the step that I was most nervous about while doing my license, but in reality it's not that bad, just treat it like any other ride. But do make sure you practice your maneuvers before going for this test, stuff like your figure 8s and slow speed riding. Once you've completed this step, you'll be able to get your REs or restricted license and start riding on the roads by yourself. It's around this point that I'd start considering getting your first bike if you are looking to do so. Again, you will be restricted with what you'll be able to ride, only being able to go on Lamb's bikes, but don't let that dishearten you because a lot of these things are a ton of fun. I've still got my Ninja 400 and I'm on my opens and I love this thing. Now it depends on which state you're in as for how long you'll be on this license for. Here in Queensland, you have to be on it for a minimum of 2 years before going for your unrestricted license. This is the case for most states, but some are different. In New South Wales, it's called your P1 license and you will need to hold this for a minimum of 12 months. If you're under 25, after that 12 months, you'll be upgraded to your P2 license, which you'll have to hold for another 2 years before being upgraded automatically. However, if you're over 25 and you have your full car license, after your P1s, you'll be upgraded straight to your full open license. New South Wales does not make you take another test. Once the 2 years has gone by in most other states though, the final thing you have to do is take your last riding test. Here in Queensland, it's called the Q-Ride Unrestricted course. This will usually be a half-day course similar to your REs, but on a full powered bike. You will do slow speed maneuvers just like before and then go out for a group ride with your instructor. Again, stay calm and follow the road rules, treat it like any other ride, and you'll be fine. After passing this test, you'll be eligible to get your full open license. Well done. The process of getting your motorcycle license is a long and sometimes confusing one. Trust me, I know as well as anyone. But it is absolutely worth it to be a part of the rider community that we have here in Australia. With so many beautiful places to explore and groups to join, there is something for everyone on a motorcycle. I'm going to leave some links in the description with even more resources and information on getting your motorcycle license in each individual state. And I really hope this helped anyone who was confused about the process of getting their motorcycle license here in Australia. I know the process is a long one, but in a way, it can be a good thing, hopefully creating better, safer riders. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you out there soon. The thought of getting on it. Cue the birds is or restricted. Right, let's try that again. We need a fully. Also be limited. Pardon me. 0, and you will not be able to take any passengers. You will not have to. I shouldn't have thrown it so far away. Oh. You have to have a blood alcohol level of 0, and what's next? So, in terms of, don't do this thing. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've spoken to what a bike is, how it works. It's to apply and get it. I swear to God, mate. Again, shut up. Again, you must be displaying your plates. I know as well as anyone. Fuck, that was painful.
Oh my god, my eyes. Those are so bad. They won't know what to do.